Konnichiwa, minasan. Today is an isopod video. We're going to be going over the Cubaris Cherry Blossom. You know, there's Thing and there's Thing Japan. Yay, you know. So this is the Cubaris Cherry Blossom. Oh, cherry blossoms are a Japanese thing, so it's better. Is what the internet says. Anyway, so today we're going to be talking about the Cubaris Cherry Blossom, their setup, how I grow them, how they're doing, and kind of their care and what I do. So this is my setup, a 6-quart tub, perforated holes on one side and along the top and on the lid. Lock on lid for extra points. Doesn't really need a gasket. You don't really need a seal for these guys. So let's go over some of the information or some of the background on the cherry blossom. Now, the cherry blossoms are damn fruit fly. They are they were isolated from an albinistic strain of the pak chong. So their cherry blossoms are a form of albinism in the pak chong species, basically. Pak chong is not the scientific name for the pak chong. Pak chong isn't the scientific name for that species. It's just a moniker that the community placed on it, and this is a isolated strain of albinism from them. Now, what makes the Cubaris cherry blossom so special? It's because they are intensely pink. There is a variety of different pink isopods, and out of all of the pinkest there isn't any more pink than the cherry blossom. I am red-green colorblind, so it's really hard for me to tell those two apart. I can for sure tell you that the cherry blossoms are extremely pink. I can point at this bug and say, yeah, that's pink. So let's get underway. So the Cubaris, this is at the end of the day a Cubaris species. So I like to keep all of my Cubaris pretty much the same way. I have long fiber sphagnum moss trench, basically moss all the way to the bottom of the bin. The soil component is an organic soil mixed with hardwood leaves, cuttle bone chunks, calcium powder, rot wood, if I have it. And that kind of makes the substrate. Layer of hardwood leaves on top, like oak, magnolia, and then lotus pods, cork bark, things like that for the bugs to hide under. Yeah, so that's kind of how I like to set up my bins. Wetness. I like to keep my bins on the sphagnum side wet to the touch, and then on the leftmost side there shouldn't be any dry dirt, but it shouldn't look dry. When you pick up the dirt and crumble it in between your fingers, you should be able to feel some humidity. If you don't feel any at all, it's too dry. The way I like to water my bins, I water the trench of sphagnum moss, and then I spray along the side here 2 to 3 times back and forth, and so it forms like a little diagonal here. So pretty much 80% of the tub will be pretty wet, and then the remaining 20 won't be dry, but it will have some moisture. That system has worked fantabulously for me for these particular 6-quart bins. Your bin might be larger, might be smaller, but this is kind of the things I pay attention to, and it's worked. Temperature, Cubaris species likes about temperature of about 75, humidity about 80 to 90%. Ventilation, as you can see, I don't stress out too much about ventilation because I have an army of springtails in here, so mold really doesn't have, mold or fungus doesn't really have a foothold to kind of latch onto. So diet. Now these guys do chew on the hardwood leaves. They do eat the leaves. They do go for the morning wood. They like their organic vegetables, squash, carrots. They like the Rapashi morning wood. They like their protein. They like their dried krill, freeze-dried krill. High quality fish feed, fish food. They like that. If you give them low quality fish food, they will not color up as much as you want them to. Give them high quality fish food and they will color up a lot more. Reproductive rate, like the Pak Chong, these guys are pretty slow to start, moderate once you get them going. You will constantly see babies, is what I mean. If you have like a 10 count and they're reproducing, you have a nice bin, nice and stable. You'll always see babies, but you will never be absolutely, there won't be absolutely gazillions of babies everywhere at any moment of time, So pretty moderate. They're not fast, but they're not slow either. I'm working with some slow reproducing species, and I'm lucky if I find a baby or two. This species, you can constantly find babies. Just gotta know where to look. Let's see here. Cost. There's Thing, and then there's Thing Japan. And because these guys are cherry blossoms, Japan, they cost more. How much more? They're up there. They're not spiky species territory, but they're up there. About 10, about $10 to $20 a piece, which is not cheap for a bug, right? Let me kind of show you guys here what they look like. They all love to hide out under this particular lotus pod. Check it out. These guys are pink. Look at that. That is pink. All of them are this beautiful pink. This camera, not really doing it justice. These guys are fire pink. Very, very beautiful species. I wasn't really a fan of them because I'm like, I'll just get papayas. I'll get something else that's pink, because there's like pink pandas or something like that. They do not hold a candle, let me tell you. There's a reason why these guys are expensive. There's Thing, and there's Thing Japan. And these guys take the cake. Beautifully pink. Now, it's going to be some people... Whoopsies. Some people, they kind of put like a pink panda, cherry blossom, and like a marina pearl, which is in 3 different types of isopods. And you will notice it'll be obvious that the cherry blossom among the 3 pink isopods because they're just very vibrant. Now, there are some people that sell what they say are cherry blossoms, but aren't cherry blossoms. They just have a very high quality strain of pink panda or marina pearl, and they call them cherry blossoms. Maybe they know, maybe they don't. But it's very important that you get your cherry blossoms from somebody with a bit of clout or a bit of reputation on the line. If you get your pods from a Joe Schmo, maybe you're not really getting true cherry blossoms. If you have pink pandas and you have all the other pink isopods, maybe you're like, well, you'll be able to tell at a glance. But like I said, I'm pretty colorblind, and if I'm gonna be dealing with the isopod that's prized on its coloration alone, like these pink cherry blossoms, I want to make sure that I get a good strain and I get it from somebody with a bit of flesh on the line if they try to cheat me out of anything. And these guys they've proved basically that they're The coloration is crazy. Yeah. I mean, look at them. They're just glowing. Got some babies here. Very nice. Yeah, so cherry blossoms, very, 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 very pink. They don't reproduce as fast as you'd want them to, but at the end of the day, you know, you don't really need them to. These guys are, well, sorry, I skipped a portion of information. Are these guys good as a cleanup crew? Like the normal Pak Chong, if you're gonna use cherry blossoms as cleanup crew, you got a lot of money to spend, buddy. They can get predated upon. This is one of those species that you're keeping as a pet only. These are lookers, not workers. This is not trophy wife material, man. This is this is a type of bug that you keep just to see. Keep it in a glass case type of deal. Definitely not a working wife type situation here. Yeah. So cherry blossoms, absolutely fantastic. Make sure you get them from a reputable breeder, reputable seller. And you know, have fun with these guys. These guys are fantastic. Bright pink. All right, guys. I'll hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll catch you guys in the next one.